worked out a little bit. I have decided to go. It may not look as pretty, but by golly, it's going to give me fewer problems, right? So this is how we're going to do it until I figure out what's going on with using the pretty camera. So here we are. Okay, so let's go back to the list. Okay, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye is on the list. We talked about the Single Barrel Bourbon and how I like that. Okay, so Old Overholt is a bourbon that I haven't tried yet. I have some over there. We're going to do that soon. I'm glad it's better, Aaron. Thank you. We're going to do that soon. I think, Aaron, and anybody else that's watching, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I think basically what happened is I didn't give myself enough time to get ready for this thing. I was working over there and just all of a sudden went, oh my gosh, it's blue! And I had to run and scamper and try to get everything around. So I just didn't get everything around. So it's my fault. I didn't give it the time that it deserved. So Wild Turkey Master's Keep. This is a bottled in bond. It's 100 proof. And I'm a fan of anything BIB, bottled in bond. And Wild Turkey is what the Wild Turkey is. And I like some of their products. I don't like all of them. Some of them are just okay. Doesn't mean I won't drink them. There are some I won't drink anymore. Whistle Pig 10. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the Knob Creek 12 year, they're saying, is one of the hands down best boozes to drink right now. Widow Jane is another one I've never had before, and there's a 15-year out. Widow Jane, they're in New York or something like that, and they claim to use water from some sort of a mine, like limestone water, filtered, blah, 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 blah. And so their marketing is a little bit suspect about how they market their bourbon. But I guess it tastes good. Anyway, they've got a 15-year out. And who's to know if it's done at Widow Jane or if it's sourced from somewhere else. Like the Rabbit Hole, they're still waiting for the stuff that they did at their distillery to finish. It's sourced. The Rabbit Hole stuff is. It's still a great rye. It's still aged in barrels and everything you got to do, but it's not made at Rabbit Hole. It's sourced from somewhere else and they age it there. So Knob Creek 12 year, Widow Jane 15 year. New Riff has got one. I haven't had a New Riff that I haven't liked yet. I really like their single barrel, and I really like their rye. But they've got one now called a Maltster. It's bottled in bond, 100 proof, and I'm interested in that. The Old Overhold I talked about, that's an 11-year rye. And then the one I'm most excited to try to find, and I know it's out there, I've seen pictures of it. Very Fine Rare. This is a 17-year-old bourbon, and I would like to find that one. That's one of them in Esquire magazine's hands down best boozes to drink right now, and I would like to try that Woodford Reserve. I'm a fan of Woodford Reserve, and that is one that has my attention. I'm going to look for. I've got I don't know, probably 10 different Woodfords here, including the Masters collection. But boy, oh boy, that sounds delicious. 15 years or 17 years, I want it. I want it. Give me. All right. So, Boone County, because I did not do any research on this whatsoever, I'm going to read the back label to you, at least if anything sounds interesting. Let's see. With a will of iron and a vision for prosperity in America's New West, William Snyder found a few steps from the banks. Golly, I can't even read this. It's so small. We bottle this to honor our history, the Snyder boys and the hardworking Petersburg locals. So this is from the banks of the Ohio River, which ought to be delicious. It smells like catfish. No. We honor the industry with determination. Each bottle of our small batch made by ghosts. Oh, perfect. Well, I guess it's called spirits, right? I know. That's a dad joke. I'm sorry. So, Boone County. The photo that I took, when I heard county, the first thing I thought of was Hazard County, like Dukes of Hazzard. So that's why I wanted to take the photo that I took, because it inspired me to go do something on an old backcountry road, and it worked out pretty well. So let's give this thing a little taste. Well, let's give it a whiff first. The nose is a little bit timid. I learned that you're not supposed to stick your nose all the way down in the glass, but for this one I may have to, because I'm not in the Glencairn glass. Maybe I should have been, but the nose isn't doing a whole lot. This is 90.8 proof, I believe. So you're not looking at a high proof bourbon to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and shove my big old schnoz down in there and see what it smells like. All right, here we go. Okay, that's better. It's got a citrus overtone. I almost got, first thing I caught was like a lemon. I got the honey. There's honey in it. Cinnamon and vanilla. Honey says hello, and some apple. That's nice. It's got a really sweet type of an overtone to it. It's very bright. I think that's the citrus, the lemony type of overtone I'm getting. It's just got a brightness to it that I really like. When you really get your nose down in there, like Pinocchio, the ethanol does start to unclog you a little bit. Yeah, I got a little oak out of that one. There's definitely some oakiness to it. Yeah, this is a very pleasant on the nose. So let's try it on the palate, shall we? It's been sitting for 5 minutes while I try to get this all to work. I was this close to going to my phone and using my phone because the computer is just being a poop. Maybe I need to reboot it. That's what I should have done. I should have rebooted it. Oh, sorry. Let's do this. Boy, is that good. That's almost refreshing. And I can't say that about a lot of bourbons. I said that about the Peerless. Okay, so this has got a slow bloom. Now, last year we talked about blooms a little bit. Now, for those of you who are brand new to us tonight, let me tell you what the bloom is. It's my word. I make up stuff to describe it. So your tongue, you take a sip of it, and this is alcohol, so it's got a burn to it, right? And sometimes you'll take a sip and it'll just, right? But the bloom that I describe is where it gets on your tongue and then it just spreads out. That sense of, not burn, I mean, that's one way to put it, but this has got a slow bloom. It starts in the center and just goes out of the tongue. Very bright. I can't specifically point out what citrus it is, but I want to say it's lemon still. There's a lemony, citrusy overtone that just makes it bright. It really activates on the front of my tongue. It seems sweeter. Now, don't get me wrong. For those of you who are new here and are just starting your walk of shame, bourbon has no carbs and has no sugars. There may be some sugars that are naturally installed in the bourbon through the aging process in the oak barrels. That's just a natural part of the process, but it's not like wine. It's not like a mixed drink. Bourbon doesn't have carbs and it doesn't have sugars. I used to think it did. I didn't think that the color of it was natural, but it is. This is what they get from the oak barrels. The oak barrels, they're always new, and they char the oak barrels before the aging process. They char them with fire, ha! And then they put the bourbon in it. And over the years, they may change barrels or they may do things like that. But over the years, as it ages in the barrel, it takes on the color of the charring of the barrel. So it's all natural. There's no sugars, there's no caramels, there's no nothing added to it. It's not Coca-Cola. This is real. This is the God's honest truth of bourbon. It's everything that's there. So let me get another taste now that I've had a second. And I'll see if I can pull out some notes for you. Because first I was just kind of wowed by the brightness of the drink itself. And I was looking for that bloom. Vanilla is high. The citrus is overwhelming in a good way. It just is. There's a lot of presence. It has a lot of presence, and its legs start at the front of my tongue and go to the back, which is really cool. Not a lot of bourbons do that. It kind of walks its way back. I mean, I'm talking about the finish after you've already swallowed everything. It just kind of walks its way back, and it's really neat how this works. How this one is doing its thing. I'm catching vanilla. Vanilla is a strong one. The lemon is strong. And it doesn't come out, it doesn't taste lemony. It's just the sense that you get. You know, if you were to drink lemon juice or put a little lemon juice on your tongue, whether you can taste lemon or not, there's going to be a characteristic that you're going to take out of it. And that is what I'm getting from this. It doesn't taste like lemon. The characteristic of lemon is coming through, if that makes any sense. And this is what I like about the bourbons, is they're all different and they all present in different ways. There are some bourbons that have a dark fruit aspect to it. This one has a bright citrus aspect to it, to me. Now, somebody else may drink it and think something else, and that's fine. That's what the fun of this is comparing notes. I'm getting lemon and vanilla. The oak is very well rounded. It's not overbearing at all, but it's there. I just caught something else. A hint of raisin, and maybe a very, very slight hint of cinnamon. Again, I'm not telling you that this is sweet, but it's sweetish. No, not Swedish. That's not what I meant. That's a good one. That's funny. Hey, hubba hubba. No, I mean it's really tough to describe, because when you have a wine, you know the difference between a sweet wine and a dry wine. This has a sweetness to it without being sweet, without being sugary. Really enjoying this a lot. I've heard it's good, and it's true, it is. Mm. That one had a little bit of a light leather. So every time you drink it, you can pull out new notes. There are things that are going to continue to be there. The lemon, that brightness, that vanilla. But that time, the more that you drink it, and the more that you sense it, and the more that you pay attention to it, the more it's going to give back to you in the gift of flavor. I like that one. The gift of flavor. Yeah, I like it. This is really good. Okay, so the next step that we do on these is we give it the ice test. Tonight, in my rush, I did not do an ice ball. And as a matter of fact, I need to make some new ice balls. The ones that I've got have been in there for a little while, and they're starting to get freezer goo on them. So I'm going to switch to a different glass. Again, I haven't eaten anything in a while, so I don't want to end up slurring. Okay. So I just have regular ice cubes in here. And I use this glass to keep them from we'll do one more. Or two more. That's fine. We'll do two. I use this because it's like a Yeti, and it'll hold the ice without melting it at all. There's no water in the bottom of this at all. Now, I do need to get moving because this is not an ice ball, so it will melt faster and dilute the drink, and I don't want that. So we are going to go ahead and get another pour going. I should have done a better job of ripping that paper. The bourbon is cascading like dew. All right, so in the future, I am going to try adding just water. That's what they do with a scotch to pull out all the notes. Some of my friends add water to their bourbons to pull out all the notes. I tend to believe that I want to do it this way first because I want to know if the notes are diffused from drinking it neat. I'm a neat drinker. Some of them I've been surprised by and really liked it on ice. We'll see about this one. Yeah, this is good on ice. I like it better neat. The notes are different. Where before I got a heavy citrus feel, now I'm getting more apple. It's still sweet. It's still got a sweetness to it. But I like it because it's a bright flavor. And if you're a bourbon drinker, I think you'll understand what I mean by it being bright. It's just got a spot right in the center of my tongue that goes, ha ha, you know, like it's a beautiful sunshiny day, you know. It's just a note that it's tough to describe. It's tough to describe what I mean by bright. It's not dark. You know, if you want to look at it a certain way. It doesn't have like dark fruits like dates and raisin, a little bit of raisin, but it doesn't have licoricey, dark, leathery type of tobacco-y type of a flavor to it, right? It's brighter than that. It doesn't have that heaviness in the flavor. This is a light flavor, and it's very elegant and it's very satisfactory, very satisfying. You got to pick the right grammar sometimes, and it eludes me. Let's try it again. The vanilla is still there. Cinnamon's coming back out. But again, the more it dilutes now, again, this ice is going to melt faster. The more it dilutes, the apple goes away. And what I'm left with is the vanilla and cinnamon. The oak is still there, which is pleasant. This is a pleasant drink on ice. I like it better neat. I got more out of it neat. I was able to pull more flavors and more of a profile out of it neat. That being said, it didn't fly away. Some bourbons, we've talked about this. Some bourbons, you put them on ice, and they flatten out. Blade and Bow, talked about that last week. This one doesn't do that. This one still has some presence. It is, there it is. It is, oh, I'm sorry. It is diffused. I'm sorry. I cracked myself up. Goodness gracious. Okay. And the ice is melting quite rapidly. So, I mean, that's going to add that water to it, but also just the coolness of it, because of the ice, it just diffuses the flavor a little bit, although not so much. It's definitely still enjoyable. If you were going to mix this with anything, I would probably tell you to mix it. Oh gosh, this would be an interesting experiment. I might tell you to mix it with fruit-styled mixers, like you could probably use tonic or water, or you could use maybe some lemon or apple juice or apple cider. I fear that apple cider and those types of things may make it overly sweet. So what you could do is mix it with something darker so the sweetness and the brightness of Boone County counteracts that. I wonder if this wouldn't be too bad in a New York sour with wine, which is fruit-based. So it's healthy. Get your antioxidants. If you can still say antioxidants, you're not drunk. Just thought you'd like to know that. All right, let's just give it the finish here. Yeah, even watered down, this is good. The more it waters, the more I catch the cinnamon. There's still that oak, which I really like. This is a nice drink. Boone County Bourbon. This is it. Really quite flavorful. Delightful, as a matter of fact. Very refreshing. I would drink this again in a heartbeat. If anybody came to me and said, hey, would you like some Boone County? I'd go, uh-huh. Yes, sir, may I have a little more? I would. So put this on your list. Now, I don't know what we're going to drink on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a mystery to me, too. And I hope that it's unveiled during the cast. And I will continue to work and see whatever the software issues were that gave us some problems. We'll get that worked out. It could just, like I said, it could just be a reboot of the computer that's necessary. But we'll get it worked out. We're going to do a multi-camera broadcast so we can continue our social distancing, keep each other safe. There are some situations still where people are getting this thing and they don't even realize it. That was me. That was my daughter. The strain of COVID that she and I both got. She got hers in November. I had mine sometime early in the year. It was either April or it was August. I lost my sense of taste and smell in August. But I started to have issues with breathing in April. But that could be because of allergies. I have terrible allergies. So, but anyhow, we're going to do social distancing on Saturday. And it's going to be fun. I don't know what we're going to drink yet. And you can explore that with us. We will do it Saturday at 7:30, unless you hear otherwise. In the meantime, if you can find a bottle of this, buy it. Because I think you're going to really like it. I really like it. It's still not one that I put in my top 10. It's not one that I'm going, but it is really, really good. So the next time I find a top 10er, I'll make sure to tell you, because those are the ones that are the most complex. They have the most things going on. The Blantons, the Evan Williams Single Barrel, Eagle Rare. We have yet to try Colonel Taylor for you. I have had Colonel Taylor. I will be honest with you and tell you I didn't like it when I had it the first time. I didn't stop drinking it. That it wasn't my favorite. But that was like very, very early in my journey. So I may feel completely different about it now, and I think I probably will. But in the meantime, hey, thanks for sticking it out with me. Thanks for riding it through all the technical difficulties. This isn't how I like it. I don't like it to be done with the computer because the quality sucks later, and the sound isn't great. But this is how we had to do it, and it is what it is. So I'll get it figured out, and next week you'll have a more professional presentation. In the meantime, thank you again for checking us out. For all the newbies, thank you for coming. And I'm going to let you go. Have a great Thursday night. See ya.